How do you know if your children are ready to learn to read? And how can you teach them if they are ready? This is what I talk about in this short video. Hi, I'm Jenny Phillips. I am the founder of The Good and the Beautiful. We create resources that have been used by hundreds of thousands of families to help educate the heart and the mind. Find out more on goodandbeautiful.com or check out our free book list for kids on goodandbeautifulbooklist.com. Not all kids are ready to learn to read before kindergarten, but many of them are. No parent should feel pressured to have their child start reading at a young age. It's important that you wait until your child is ready. Please keep in mind as well that the very most important thing to do to help your child advance in language skills when they're young is to read to them. Reading to a child is hugely beneficial to their vocabulary and future reading and writing skills. So I strongly suggest keeping your focus on reading to your child, even if you start teaching them to read on their own. Okay, so when is a child ready to start reading? Here are a few things to consider. Can they sing the alphabet song with no help? Can they sit and remain engaged for 15 minutes or longer while being read to? Can they retell stories and answer questions about a story? Can they hold the book the right way and turn pages from right to left? But perhaps the most important thing is this: is your child ready and eager to learn to read? I firmly believe that children should not be pushed to start reading at a young age if they are not ready or interested. Please do not desire your child to learn how to read early so that others will think your child is smart. Brilliant children start reading at many different ages. When your child is ready to read, teaching a typical child to read is actually pretty easy and simple. The first step is to teach the child the sounds of the consonants and the most common sound of each vowel. Some reading programs teach children multiple sounds of the vowels from the start, but after much research and piloting reading programs with many children, I don't encourage this approach. Some vowels have 5 or more sounds, and some of which are only used in a small handful of words or are used in complex words that the child won't learn to read for a very long time. It can really confuse and overwhelm a child to learn so many vowel sounds up front. Flashcards and games are a great way to teach children the letter sounds. When doing flashcards, I suggest that the child first say the sound of the letter and then the letter name, so that the first thing that the child thinks of when they see the letter is its sound. Flashcards are sometimes not enough or the most fun way to learn those, so check out our preschool and kindergarten prep courses for really fun activities and games that teach letter sounds. Both are linked in the description in this video. I also suggest that children don't move on to reading words until the child knows the letter sounds extremely well. The child should instantly be able to say a letter sound when seeing the letter. If they have to think about it for even a couple seconds, they are not ready to move on to reading words. The second step is to teach children to blend sounds. Start teaching blending to your child with 2-letter words like at, in, and up, and with CVC words, which are composed of a consonant, a vowel, and a consonant. Choose words that start with letters that have continuous sounds and end with letters that are stop sounds. For example, listen to how S and M can be held continuously. S, and notice how T and B are stop sounds and can't be held as easily. T, B. Okay, let's look at the word sat. S has a continuous sound, and all vowels have a continuous sound. So we start showing the child only the letters S and A and covering up the T. Have the child overemphasize each sound as they blend the letters together, S and A. Sa, sa. Then tell the child when you uncover the last letter to say it quickly right after the S and A sounds. Sat, sat. You can also take the approach of using word families like words that end with at, sat, fat, mat, and so on. Then cover up the last 2 letters, the at portion, and have the child say the first sound. Then uncover the letters at and have the child add at to the first letter like this. K, at. 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 These approaches to blending are usually much more effective than teaching a child to blend each individual sound to read words. The last step to teaching early reading skills is to teach carefully selected sight words. In addition to teaching your child words that can be decoded or sounded out, you will want to teach your children sight words, which are words that need to be memorized because they are rule breakers or are very common words that have complex principles that the child has not yet learned. But choose sight words carefully and don't focus on memorizing long lists of sight words. Memorizing words takes a long time, and you don't want to spend time memorizing words that the child would be able to sound out soon. Examples of sight words are a, I, are, you, and the. You can find helpful recommended lists of kindergarten, first grade, and second grade sight words on the Good and Beautiful blog. Links are in the description. Tens of thousands of children have learned to read through the Good and the Beautiful curriculum, preschool, kindergarten prep, and kindergarten language arts courses. Our unique Reading Booster program includes cards and early reader books to boost your child's confidence, and they can be downloaded completely free. Each early reader book focuses on what was just learned and doesn't include any principles the child hasn't learned yet. In addition, we also have free Reading Booster games on our homeschool app. One last note, as you teach your child to read, especially if they are younger, watch for cues that will show how much you can do each day. If the child starts to sigh or become distracted or frustrated, take that as a cue to stop. Let the child dictate the pace of learning at this age. This will help keep learning a positive thing for the child and for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out our resources, many of which are free, on goodandbeautiful.com and linked in the description below. We are here with you every step of the way as you raise children who love beauty and goodness and have strong hearts and minds.